Welcome everybody to this week's One Piece episode review. This week we continued into the law flashback and started with the fact that pretty much Cora-San lays down pretty much all the information about what the truth about how he can talk and he has a devil fruit and all that, and he Law of course escapes and threatens to reveal everything to Doflamingo. But he doesn't because he's like, oh, well, I remember you didn't tell Doflamingo about me stabbing you, so this makes us even. And so then he decides uh, to slip out with Law, basically kidnapping him so he can go around to every hospital in the that he can get himself to in order to try and find a doctor that could cure his disease. With unfortunately every hospital has the same reaction. Get away, get away. And then they try to capture the two, and because they find them to be criminals, and Corazon ends up burning down the hospital over and over and over again. Now, at one point we see him contact Sengoku to say that, oh, I'm taking a break from my mission, thus revealing his true identity as a member of the Marines. And before we move away from Sengoku's office, we see Virgo come in requesting to transfer to G5, which we all know what happened with that. So then we, after finding out all this information, we skip ahead about 6 months, and they still haven't found anything yet. And basically, Rosinante goes into a crying fit as he basically explains to Law, who he thinks is sleeping at the time, about how he just feels so sad for his, situation, and how him being stabbed by Law was not painful because he knew of all the pain that Law had been through. And this pretty much is the final nail in the coffin that finally causes Law to start to actually truly have feelings for Cora-San. And he surprises him the next morning by making him breakfast and by calling him Cora-San instead of Corazon, which surprises him. And then we briefly, because it's the anime and they have to cut, do stuff to extend it, they cut back to the present where you see Law try and take some swings at Doflamingo, and you see Luffy fighting off against the Doflamingo string clone, and the Bellamy, who's being controlled by Doflamingo. So just to showcase you, nothing's really much happened in terms of that. So, I mean, overall, it was a very good episode. I mean, I think the most surprising part was the fact that instead of, the whole opening plus recap taking like 7 or 8 minutes, it was only like 4 minutes. Which means you had like the 2 minute, like somewhere between 2 and 2.5 minute opening, and then you had like a 2 minute recap, which was surprising because it's One Piece. But that's because they added a bunch of stuff to, the scenes, the action of the interaction between Corazon and Law, which was very nice. So overall, it was a good episode, and I hope to see you all next week for more of the Law flashback. Yay.